place. So my name is Dylan. These are my dogs. This is Jane. That's Henry. We're going to talk about dove hunting, early goose season, hot weather hunting. We're also going to talk about prepping your dogs for their first season of dove or goose or duck hunting, whatever hunting you're going to do. So Henry's an old vet. This is my young girl. She's 14 months old. Now she is a very advanced 14-month-old. She already has one master pass, but she has not gone on her first basically goose dove hunt. She's done a lot of upland, which is mainly what these Springer Spaniels do. So, but I love duck hunting. I love dove hunting. I love picking up. I love the retrieving aspect of everything. So all my dogs do everything and have to be able to sit here calmly and pay attention. So the things that I feel are very important to your dog when you're going in is, first of all, safety. We want to make sure our dogs are steady. We also want to make sure that we have water readily available to these dogs, especially if there's not any water on the property. Good. Up. We also, if you don't have water readily available to the property or it's going to be extremely hot, I recommend bringing a cooler. I use these Ozark Trail coolers. Yetis are nice too. These are just cheaper. And so I throw some ice in there, throw some water bottles in there, and what I do is I also bring a towel, a rag. And the reason I bring the rag is if my dogs get too hot, what I can do is I can soak the rag in that ice cold water and then I can drape it over their head. Will instantly cool them off. That is something I learned when I was playing football. My old coach, Coach Botts, he used to, the best part of practice during the summer was getting the towel on your head during the middle of practice when everything was so hot. It would cool you right down, drop your body temperature, and allow you to keep going. So you take that cool towel, you drape it over their head. You want to do that really before they get too hot. So do it when you start seeing them pan a little bit, or if you feel their body and their body super warm. The biggest thing that will help you in a dove hunt or a goose hunt is set up in the shade. So always make sure your dogs are in the shade like these dogs are in now, and bring a lot of water. So on to more of the hunting related stuff. So for a young puppy, a lot of times, especially if their sit stays and their obedience isn't quite there, they like to move around, or they're more of an upland dog like she is. She's more built for upland. I will bring a place board. And the reason I bring this place board is because it gives the dog a designated place to return to sit, to stay, to stay put. In all my training, early training, we did place boards for their stays, so they clearly know what it means. So we'll get kind of into the setups for training scenarios, preparing your dog for a dove hunt day. You gotta add gunfire into your training sessions. And I suggest get your hands on a few pigeons, some clip-wing pigeons, and pull some of the flight feathers out and throw those pigeons up to act like birds that you've shot. So they'll flap, 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 and they'll go down in the field and they'll act like birds that you've shot when you fire a blank or fire whatever. Or you can throw up, regular pigeons and just shoot them, but that just allows you to save some money. So the other thing you want to make sure you have in prep is you have your decoys out. So these dogs will also do goose hunting, so we've got some silhouette decoys out there. So they got to get used to working in those silhouette decoys. And then, but the biggest thing, and if you can, I won't be able to demonstrate it today, is to get a group of guys to come, unplug their shotguns, and sit down with your dog and fire as many shots around your dog with no retrieves as possible, so they get used to hearing that gunfire just go off and off and off. Because if your dog isn't used to that, and to them, if gunfire means go, 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 every time they've had a gunfire shot off, a bird's been dead and they've retrieved, they're going to go crazy here. They're going to start whining. They're going to break. It's not going to be pretty. But if you've done training sessions where guys are firing everywhere and nothing's coming down, it teaches the dogs that, hey, look, that gunfire doesn't mean that something's down. It doesn't mean I need to get amped up. I like to teach my dogs to sit to gunfire, so that the gunfire actually just means sit. And so you can see that in some of my other videos. But for this right now, we're just trying to get the dogs used to gunfire, marking through the decoys, and working together. So these dogs are going to be hunting together this year. So I'm going to sit down on my cooler, get my trusty dummy launcher out. Jane, come here, place. Up. So I'm not going to be super particular if she gets up when I walked over here, because she thought we were walking away. You know, this is her first time really doing it from this position in this area. So you get to see a kind of fresh dog right here. She's done it in other places, but not in this area of the field and not like we're about to do it. So, and I'm gonna get Henry to get in beside her. Henry, heel. Come here. Henry, come here. So he's kind of struggling a little bit with that right there, but that's fine if he sits right there. I don't care. So I'm gonna sit right here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit down, relax like I'm in a dove hunt. I'm gonna wait a few seconds, and then I'm gonna jump up. I'm gonna fire this dummy launcher like I jumped up and shot something, and I wanna make sure these dogs stay still. If your dog has a tendency to break, know your dog, put the dog on a leash. You don't wanna be the guy at the dove hunt whose dog's breaking everywhere and retrieving other guys' retrieves, especially if they brought a dog and they're trying to get their dog work. That's my pet peeve. So, up. So I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna talk. If you're goose hunting or something like that, you may wanna bring a call out, actually make the call sounds, do the whole kit and caboodle. If you've got the pigeons, the clip-wing pigeons, which I won't show that here, but you can throw them out as you're standing up and let them flutter up to practice that steadiness. But all right, I'm gonna stand up, jump up, and I'm gonna fire this gun, and I'm gonna make her wait. So I'm gonna send Henry on this first one. Hopefully none of you ever shoot like that and just jump up and fire without doing anything, but you get the drill. I'm also talking after to make sure they don't break after I fire the gun. Henry. Henry, come on. Good. So now I'm going to wait a few seconds. So she waited. She did an excellent job. Now I'm going to wait some more. And you're doing this to really teach the dog, like, hey, there may be time in between retrieves. There may, you know, it's not all going to be action. You've got to do this in your training sessions to get these dogs ready. Oh, bird, 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 bird. So talk like you're gonna hunt. If you call out birds, do it. Jane. Good girl, good girl. Good. Place, Jane, place. So right there, I have a dip in my property. So to her, she couldn't see where the dummy was marked because of the dip in the property, and that's things you've got to take into account. So she didn't get a good mark. She stopped early because that's in her brain. That's where it landed. So she's got to learn to mark over those hills. Which this is great exercise for her, great training. But I would just do more of this in the training sessions. And for me personally, I would add live gunfire, which I'm just not going to do today because our season starts tomorrow and I got to save all my shells. So I'm using the dummy launcher. But I would unplug my gun, fire as many shots as I can, and make sure these dogs are steady. If you've taught sit to gunfire, you're not going to have to worry about it, just like these dogs are. You know, they don't jump, they don't blink. To them, that gunfire just means sit. And so that's what you want to do. Always make sure you have water for your dog. Make sure you have your towel to soak. Throw over the dog if you need to. Cool them off. Be safe out there, and get your dog some work. Good. Come on. Okay.